That's an easy night for y'all. Y'all come here and box me up real quick, probably clip me, then go home.
As a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Jake Paul has shocked the boxing world once again. Ahead of his massive fight against Gervonta Tank Davis, Jake has brought in none other than Shakur Stevenson as a sparring partner. The move isn't just symbolic, it's strategic. To mirror Tank's southpaw speed, angles, and defensive IQ, Jake chose one of the slickest fighters in the sport. People don't realize Jake said, "I'm taking this seriously. I'm not here to play." 5 years into his professional boxing career, Paul believes this preparation could finally give him the edge to do what few think possible: knock out Gervonta Davis and prove he belongs among the elite.
You said a guy who is shorter than you. How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So
Wow.
Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight.
From YouTube clips to pay-per-view main events, Jake Paul's rise has been impossible to ignore. He's already secured multiple official wins and continues to evolve with every fight. Despite constant criticism, he trains like a man, obsessed, focused, relentless, and driven by the idea of silencing doubters. His upcoming bout with Tank Davis isn't just another fight. It's the ultimate test, a chance to prove how far discipline, self-belief, and time in the gym can really take him.
And show myself what I'm capable of.
When you picture how it goes down, is there something that you see yourself doing? Do you see yourself knocking him out? Do you imagine being victorious? And what would that mean for you, a guy, again, who has only been in this sport for a couple of years? You've turned it on its head. You've had a massive impact, clearly, in just a few years, but it's only been a few years. That's the bottom line.
No, exactly. This is my 5th year as a pro. And so I've had to progress faster than anyone else in the sport to be able to compete at this level and to be able to hang in there with these guys. But I do believe that I have the power and the offense to be able to walk Tank into a knockout like I've done with other opponents and set them up for it. And so I am fully confident in my ability, and I think it would be one of the craziest upsets in a long time.
Yeah, one of the craziest upsets ever, probably, in many people's eyes. Well, I think I saw Cardi B just put a $250,000 bet down. It was a parlay, I believe, on Aspen all over Cyril Gahn. But then for Tank to beat you, have you seen that? And what do you think about Cardi B potentially placing a $250,000 bet here?
According to Jake, Shakur Stevenson personally reached out to join his camp, a partnership that surprised everyone. Stevenson's inclusion brings serious legitimacy. To simulate Tank's rhythm, Jake has surrounded himself with multiple southpaw sparring partners, all focused on movement, precision, and counterpunch timing. Paul's training has shifted dramatically, no more reliance on raw power. Now, it's about footwork, defense, and timing, the very tools that define elite fighters. With Stevenson guiding sessions, Jake's camp suddenly feels less like celebrity boxing and more like a professional world title camp.
We got some great guys coming in, some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are.
Despite all the noise, boxing still carries its old school heart. Fans show up for legacy, but also for spectacle. And this fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis has reignited a global debate. Is boxing evolving or selling out? Veteran fighter Brian Mendoza believes it's simply the sport adapting. If a fighter brings attention and money, why stop them? Boxing is a business. Attention converts to opportunity. Like it or not, he's right. This fight has everyone talking, from purists to casual fans, keeping boxing in the spotlight during an age dominated by social media and short attention spans.
Yeah. So if he can call any one of y'all out and y'all can get that payday, I say go get it, baby. I'm not mad at it.
For me, and I got no I'm not mad at this move at all for Tank Davis, but I think when it comes to boxing fans, there's an essence that comes with this sport, and it's an essence that hasn't been lost, unlike other sports. For an example, with football, we come from the hitting days.
Yeah.
Can't hit nowadays. You know what I mean? So boxing hasn't lost its essence. You know, they're trying to make it safer and all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore. But it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like they're talking like I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh damn!
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate it a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, more of a difference,
Right.
there might be less hate on it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of...
When the news broke that Shakur Stevenson was training Jake Paul, fans were stunned. Shakur, a calm, technical, and respected champion, doesn't usually mix with crossover fighters. But this collaboration shows something deeper. Traditional boxing meeting the modern era. Observers call it strange, but both sides benefit. Jake gains elite mentorship. Shakur gains exposure to a younger, wider audience. Reports from inside camp describe intense, focused sessions, no cameras, no distractions, just work. Even critics are admitting it. This unlikely duo might be onto something. When asked about his role, Shakur was careful with his words. He made it clear, this isn't about picking sides. From a business standpoint, he respects the move.
Then reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terrence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly.
As a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
Fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made. You think you might consider doing the same thing, right?
I would, but you gotta also realize, I know that it's not going nowhere. Like,
right.
The fight ain't gonna go nowhere. Like, say, because if I really believe in myself,
right,
and I wholeheartedly think, like, if we fight again, I'm gonna win this fight.
That fight still be there around the
After
corner.
I beat this motherfucker, where you at?
Yeah.
The fight still there. It's not gonna go nowhere. But if I have a 50-50 thought process where it's like,
right,
yeah, I got doubt in my brain, I may be like, all right, fuck it.
Also,
Let's
in his
cash
case,
out.
case, it might be that he's tired of fighting anyway. He's leaning towards.
It's a reminder that boxing no longer lives in isolation. It's part sport, part entertainment, and right now, Jake Paul sits right in the center of both worlds. Whether you see him as a disruptor or a delusionist, one thing's clear: Jake Paul is taking this fight seriously. Training with Shakur Stevenson proves it. And on fight night, the world will find out if preparation, precision, and pressure can overcome raw knockout power. So, what do you think? Can Jake Paul really stand toe-to-toe with Gervonta Tank Davis? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next.